Okay, you probably have seen advertisements for this thing. It's Alec Peirce Scuba, by the way, with another tech tip. The Nautilus Lifeline. These are not new. They've been around, for quite a while, a dozen years, maybe more. Now, this is the newest version, which is by far the best. It's completely automatic, does everything. You don't have to push any buttons. You don't have to be a computer genius. It basically is built for dummies. Good for divers, right? But anyway, the Nautilus Lifeline. And they've been around for quite a while. And divers have asked me, it seems like a nice idea, but it is $300, $200 to $300. Do I need one of those things? And the answer is not always, but sometimes yes. Let me explain. First of all, let me explain what it is. A Nautilus Lifeline. It's a personal locator beacon, which is a fancy word for saying if you press the button, it sends out a signal and tells everybody where you are. Nice and light and small. These are smaller than the original version. Nice and light. There's no parts, nothing to it really, nothing you really have to do. It's sealed completely tightly. And this new version also comes with a neat, bright orange rubber protector that also allows you to attach it to a BCD or somewhere on your body. And it's really simple. If you have a problem, then you simply press the button, and this sends out a locator beacon. It goes anywhere in the world. You don't have to have a subscription. You don't have to have your mobile phone. You don't have to have Wi-Fi or any of those kind of things. So if you're out in the Sargassum Sea in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, you press this button within reason. It'll send out a signal that somebody will pick up. Now, I say within reason. It does have a range of 35 miles. So if you're 40 miles offshore, obviously people on shore won't get it. But it also, the signal it sends out is on all of the common wavelengths that ships use, marine ships, personal ships, tankers, all that. So anything within 35 miles of where you are will get that signal. And it goes into the system, and pretty soon, hopefully, somebody in a nice, bright, new helicopter will be out there to pick you up and save you. That's the principle, and it works really quite well. Small, compact, not inexpensive, but in certain circumstances, it might be worthwhile. Now, if you're diving at your cottage, and you've got your buddy with you, and you're 20, 30 feet offshore in 15 to 20 feet of water, and that's what most of your diving is. So maybe once a year you go down to the Florida Keys and dive on Molasses Reef in 30 feet of water and the pretty reefs and so on, at the dive boat above you. Nah, you don't need one of these. But there are lots of circumstances where it's worthwhile. I used one of these when I was diving in the Red Sea several years ago. And that particular time we were in the Red Sea, there were a lot of currents. A lot of currents, a lot of wind and waves and currents. And several times the dive boat we were on could not get close enough to the reef, to the shore where we wanted to dive. So we often had as much as a half-mile swim to get to the dive site. And then we come back to the surface afterwards and we couldn't even see the dive boat. The current and the waves had taken us sometimes around the point and dive boat nowhere around. It would have been very, very easy for one or more of the divers in our group to drift away, get pushed away, and find themselves completely out in the open water, nothing in sight. So that's one example. That's the kind of thing where you might get isolated from your dive boat or your buddy or the shore. I should tell you that on a couple of our trips to the Galapagos Islands, I'm sure you've heard about the Galapagos Islands, the diver's dream. If you get a chance to go to the Galapagos and dive there, jump on it. You know, it's not inexpensive, but it's one of those few things that I say, yeah, absolutely do it. You'll never regret it if you're able to. But in the Galapagos, these are required. Yeah. The Galapagos Islands are situated, they're a long ways from the mainland, and they're situated in such a way that the currents are pretty strong there, and there's a lot of breeze as well, a lot of offshore breezes. So it doesn't happen often, but it happens often enough that the dive charter boats there require all the divers to have one of these lifelines, the Nautilus Lifeline. So, do you have to have one? No. Do you want to have one? Depending on your diving. So a little bit of common sense. And, you know, if your wife or your girlfriend is one of those nervous Nellies, and I'm not making fun of them, I think it's nice to have someone that actually cares about you. I wish Kevin did. And tell them you're going to get a Nautilus Lifeline so that no matter where you are at any time, you'll be contacted and be safe. That'll make them feel better too. Anyway, it's a neat device. Take a look at it at your dive store. Take a second look at it. And if you've already filled up your dive bag with all the toys that you can, or maybe you have a birthday or Christmas coming up, I want a Nautilus Lifeline. They'll last forever. You get one and it lasts forever. So it's not a bad investment. Okay, guys, that's my thoughts on the Nautilus Lifeline. Not absolutely necessary. Could be a real good idea. All right, we'll talk to you soon. More tech tips coming from Alec, Peirce, Scuba here at Scuba 2000.